Good day everyone, this is Robert Mag-apan, your mentor in Practical Research 2. So in this video ay pag-aaralan natin kung paano nga ba magsulat ng Statement of the Problem or commonly known as SOP. So the Statement of the Problem refers to the critical issue that your research seeks to address. In other words, it captures the existing knowledge gap that your study aims to bridge using reliable results or outcomes. So sa paggawa ng Statement of the Problem or ang tinatawag nating madalas na SOP ay may dalawang uri. The first one is the general problem and the second one is the specific problem. Ano nga ba ang dalawang ito? At ano ang kinalaman nito sa paggawa at pagsulat ng Statement of the Problem? So the general problem is the reflection of your research title, while the specific problems are usually stated as questions the researcher seeks to answer. The specific questions should help address the general problem of the research. So lagi natin pakatatandaan that when we are formulating our specific problems, it must meet the following criteria. Una-una dito that our specific problems must be in question form. The second, it must define the populations and the sample of the study. And also, it must identify the variables being studied and they must be empirically testable. So, yun ay ilan lang sa mga criteria or mga considerations tungo sa epektibong pagsulat at paggawa ng ating Statement of the Problem. However, there are two general types of questions that we can use in formulating our Statement of the Problem. The first one is the non-researchable questions and the second one is the researchable questions. So, ano nga ba itong non-researchable questions? Ito kadalasan ay questions of value or yung questions that are answerable by yes or no. So, magbibigay tayo ng ilang halimbawa ng non-researchable questions. Number 1, should all students review their lessons before taking the exam? Yung question na ito ay answerable only by yes or no. The second example, do all teachers check the outputs submitted by the students? And another example is, are video lessons effective for teaching learning process? So, since na ang mga naibigay na halimbawa ng specific questions or ng questions ay answerable by yes or no and they are questions of value, so kaya sila ay tinatawag natin kadalasan na non-researchable question. And that's how non-researchable questions look like. And the researchable questions naman, these are questions of value, opinions, or policy raised to accumulate data. So this type of question usually use the 5 W's in one each, or the who, what, when, where, why, and how. So the given example of this type of questions is that what relationship exists between independent variable and dependent variable. And the second one, how is the profile of the respondents in terms of age, sex, family income, religious affiliations, influences their active participation in school activities. So napakadali lang i-distinguish kung ang question ba na ginamit ng isang researcher ay non-researchable questions or researchable questions. Let us keep in mind that when a question is answerable only by yes or no, this is a non-researchable question. And when the question demands certain explanations or opinion, it is researchable question. So sa kabilang dako, tayo bilang researchers ay kinakailangang familiar din sa types of research questions. So according to Dickoff et al., as cited in Wellesley 1990, there are types of research questions. We have here the factor isolating questions, the factor relating questions, the situation relating questions, and situation producing questions. So ano-ano nga ba ang mga ito at ano ang pinagkaiba nito sa isa't isa? Una nating ipaliwanag itong factor isolating questions. So the factor isolating questions is sometimes called factor naming questions, for it isolate, categorize, describe, or name factors and situations. So usually, the factor isolating question always tend to address the question, what is this? Example, what is the profile of the students in terms of age, sex, family income, and religious affiliation? The second example, is that what is the academic performance of the students in terms of written works, performance tasks, and quarterly exam results. The second type of research question is the factor relating questions. Its goal is to determine the relationship among factors that have been identified. It aims to establish relationship between variables. Example, what are the factors that affect students' academic performance? And the second example, what relationship exists between variable y and variable z? So, base sa naibigay na halimbawa, ang factor relating questions ay nagpapakita ng situations or mga senaryo kung paano ang mga variables sa isang research ay nagpapakita ng ugnayan sa isa't isa. Samantala, sa situation relating questions naman, it usually yields hypothesis testing or experiential study designs in which the researcher manipulates the variables to see what will happen. So, ang goal ng ganitong uri ng research question ay alamin kung ano nga ba ang magiging impluensya ng isang variable doon sa isa pang variable, or pag-aaralan kung ano yung mangyayari pagkatapos na mapag-aralan ang lahat ng mga variables na ginamit sa isang research or isang papel pananaliksik. Halimbawa, what are the effects of blended learning approach to the academic performance of the students? Is there a significant relationship between blended learning approach and the academic performance of the students? So those are the examples of situation relating questions. Then the last types of the research question is that the situation producing questions. So these questions establish explicit goals for actions, develop plan, or prescriptions to achieve goals, or specify the conditions under which these goals will be accomplished. So, ito ay isang klase din ng tanong sa ating research question kung ano nga ba ang mga potential na plano after nating malaman ang findings ng ating pinag-aaralan. Let's say for example, based on the research findings, what recommendations are to be made to strengthen the academic performance of the students amidst the implementation of blended learning approach. So, ipinapakita ng researcher dito the different actions to be taken after conducting a particular or a certain studies. And now ay magbibigay tayo ng halimbawa kung paano nga ba gumawa ng statement of the problem. Let's say for example, our research title is Mother Tongue-Based Multilingual Education, Its Effects to the Reading Fluency and Comprehension of the Grade 3 Pupils in Barutuan Elementary School. So, gagawaan natin siya ng general problem, gaya nito. So, this study aims to investigate the effects of the mother tongue-based multilingual education to the reading fluency and comprehension of the grade 3 pupils in Barutuan Elementary School. So, yung mukha ng ating general problem ay para nire-state lang natin yung ating research title. So, yung general problem is parang pinaka-reflection na ng ating research title. So, specifically, it seeks to answer the following questions. Number 1, what is the profile of the pupils in terms of gender, language spoken, and grades in language subject? The second question is, how does mother tongue-based multilingual education affects the pupils' reading fluency and comprehension? The third question, does mother tongue-based multilingual education has significant effect to the pupils' reading fluency and comprehension? And the last one is what recommendations should be made to address the issues identified in the study? So, kung babalikan natin yung ating general problem is nire-state lang natin yung title para makabuo tayo ng goal ng ating research o yung purpose ng ating research. Knowing that the general problem is the reflections of our research title. Yung specific questions natin ay nagkaroon lang tayo ng enumerations ng mga specific problems na nakikita nating pwedeng makatulong sa pag-address ng ating general problems. So that's all for today's video and I hope you learned a lot from it. Thank you for watching.